After everything that went wrong in 2025, the captain stood on the training track with one message. This time, it's going to be different. G'day Swans fans. If you love this club like I do, hit that subscribe button because what Callum Mills just revealed about 2026 is exactly what we needed to hear. Callum Mills is back. And he's not just back, he's talking about moving into the midfield, he's talking about being fit for the first time in years, and he's talking like a captain who's ready to drag this team back to where it belongs. For the first time since his injury nightmare began, Mills finished the season uninterrupted. No setbacks, no managing workloads, no watching from the sidelines while his teammates battled on without him, just a full pre-season under his belt and the longest break of his career behind him. This isn't just about one player getting healthy. This is about the heartbeat of the Sydney Swans finally being able to lead from the front again. And after missing finals for the first time since 2020, the timing couldn't be more critical. But to understand why this matters so much, we need to go back to where it all went wrong. The 2025 season was meant to be different. Coming off a grand final appearance in 2024, the Swans had every reason to believe they'd be back in September. The core was still there, the system was proven, the expectations were sky high. And then, it all unravelled. A 10th place finish, no finals footy, the first time since 2020 that Swan supporters had to watch September from the couch. It was brutal, it was unexpected, and it left everyone asking the same question. What the hell happened? Through it all, Callum Mills tried to hold it together. He played, he led, but his body kept betraying him. For years now, Mills has been battling through interrupted seasons, managing injuries, never quite getting the clean run he needed to show what he's really capable of. The versatility was there, defender, midfielder, wherever the team needed him, but the consistency couldn't be. Behind the scenes, there were conversations happening about Mills's role, about his body, about whether he could ever stay healthy enough to be the dominant midfielder everyone knew he could be. The club needed him fit, the fans needed him fit, and more than anyone, Mills needed to prove to himself that he could get through a season without his body breaking down. By the time the final siren sounded on 2025, Mills had done something he hadn't managed in years. He'd finished. No interruptions, no late season injuries forcing him out of the biggest games, just a full campaign, start to finish. And now, standing on the training track with the longest break of his career behind him, Mills is ready to make good on all those years of what-ifs. Here's where everything changes. Mills isn't just talking about being fit. He's talking about playing more midfield in 2026. Let that sink in for a second. The captain, the versatile defender who sacrificed his own game to plug holes wherever the team needed him, he's going back to where he does the most damage. It'll be fun, Mills said. My versatility will be very helpful for the team. Fun! He called it fun, because that's what happens when you're not held together by strapping tape and hope. That's what happens when you can actually train at full intensity instead of managing every session. That's what happens when your body finally lets you be the player you've always been capable of being. Think about what this means for Sydney's midfield. They've been searching for that extra gear, that extra bit of class through the guts. And now they're getting their captain, a former All-Australian, ready to throw his weight around in the middle of the park. But here's the thing that should have every Swans fan absolutely buzzing. Mills isn't just talking about himself. He's talking about Charlie Curnow like the recruiter's already been at the club for years. He fits in really well with the group, and we are really glad to have him. Fits in like a glove, Mills revealed. Fans will like it when his shoulders are back, rocking the SCG. That image, Charlie Curnow, shoulders back, owning the SCG, that's not just hype, that's the captain painting a picture of what 2026 could look like. And if Mills is feeling this confident, this fit, this ready, the rest of the competition should be worried. The buzz around Swans headquarters is real. Players coming back to training with that edge, that hunger you only see after a season that ended too early. Missing finals does something to a group. It either breaks them or it hardens them into something dangerous. Mills made it clear which way the Swans are heading. Everyone was keen to get back into it. Awesome first start.
That energy isn't coming from nowhere. It's coming from a captain who's finally healthy, from a forward line that just added one of the competition's best key forwards, and from a playing group that knows exactly what they let slip through their fingers in 2025. The pre-season has only just begun, but the signs are already there. Mills is moving differently, training differently, talking differently. There's a confidence in his words that wasn't always there when he was battling through injury after injury. And then there's the elephant in the room. The new AFL wildcard round being introduced in 2026. If it had existed last year, Sydney would have played finals. They finished 10th, right on the edge. And now there's a lifeline for teams in that position. Mills was honest about it. I'm not sure of it, to be honest. It's interesting. Hopefully fans will enjoy it and we will see how it goes. But here's the subtext. The Swans aren't planning on needing the wild card. They're not building a season around scraping into 10th and hoping for a bonus chance. They're building a season around having their captain fit, their key forward firing, and their midfield finally operating at full strength. This is bigger than one player getting healthy. This is about the Sydney Swans reclaiming their identity. Think back to the great Swans teams. They were built on leadership, on toughness, on captains who dragged their teammates into battles and refused to let them lose. Adam Goodes, Gerard McVeigh, Kieran Jack. These were blokes who set the standard, who led from the front, who made everyone around them better. Mills has always had that in him, but injuries kept pulling him away from being that consistent force the team could build around. Now, for the first time in years, he's got the clean slate he needs, a full pre-season, a healthy body, and a midfield role that lets him impact the game in the way he's always been capable of. Compare this to 2024. Mills was managing his way through the season, playing mostly as a defender, doing what the team needed, but never quite unleashing the midfielder we all know he can be. Now, he's talking about versatility being helpful. He's talking about having fun. Those are the words of a player who's not just surviving anymore, he's ready to dominate. And with Curnow settling in like he's been there for years, with the rest of the playing group hungry after missing finals, with that opening round match against Carlton at the SCG circled on the calendar, March 5th, 2026, everything is lining up. The consequences of 2025 were harsh, but sometimes a team needs that wake-up call. Sometimes they need to miss finals to remember how much it hurts, to remember what they're fighting for. The Swans have been reminded, and with Mills leading the charge, they're not planning on feeling that pain again. At the end of the day, this is what being a Swans fan is all about. It's about watching your captain battle through years of setbacks and finally get the chance to show what he's really made of. It's about believing that the darkest moments are just setting up the greatest comebacks. It's about March 5th against Carlton and knowing that when Mills runs out onto the SCG fully fit, ready to dominate the midfield with Curnow leading the forward line, that's when the real season begins. This is our year to bounce back, and it starts with a healthy captain who's done waiting. Let me know in the comments, are you as excited as I am to see Mills in the midfield? Hit like if you're backing the Swans to make a statement in 2026, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Swans!